You've probably already done this. You open up ChatGPT, you paste in your last few practice test scores, and you type in the question you actually care about. You say to ChatGPT, be honest, am I ready? And it'll say something like, you're really trending in the right direction. Your fundamentals look strong, and with a little more practice, you'll be in great shape. You've got this. And that might feel good, but it's also a lie. I mean, ChatGPT has no idea whether you're actually ready, but it tells you that you are. And that is the most dangerous lie in your whole LSAT prep journey because it's what you wanted to hear in a calm, confident voice for free at 2 in the morning from a tool that you've quietly started to trust. Now, some of you are already pushing back on this, and that's good because you're studying for an LSAT that lives and dies on precision, so we got to be precise here. You're thinking, it's not really lying because ChatGPT doesn't know that the answer is false. And that's fair, because a liar actually knows the truth and hides it from you. ChatGPT is worse though because it doesn't really know whether you're ready and it doesn't care. It just says whatever keeps you happy. But whether you take the LSAT, when you take it, where you go to law school, that's going to cost you 3 years of your life and 200 grand. At least the liar knows what the truth is. Now, OpenAI actually pulled a version of ChatGPT last year for being too agreeable. The word they used was disingenuous. Now, I've taught the LSAT since 2005, took it myself, went from a 152 to a 175, taught over 10,000 students over the years. And what I know for sure is that you don't blow the LSAT on test day. You blow it in the weeks leading up to test day, the moment you let a comfortable story about how ready you are go unchallenged. Now, that has always been the trap. Now, a study came out this year. Researchers ran the top AI models through more than 1,000 real LSAT questions. One of them got a perfect 180, did not miss a single question. 5 of the 6 best models scored above 97%. For context, back in early 2023, the best AI could barely scrape a 149 LSAT score that's below average. 2 years later, a perfect score on the test the legal world's used for 75 years to find its sharpest people. So the thing lying to you about whether you're ready is itself better at the LSAT than almost every human who's ever going to take it. It could probably teach the LSAT, but that's what makes it dangerous. If it were obviously stupid, you would ignore it, but instead it's actually brilliant and confident, but it'll look you dead in the eye and tell you that you're ready when it has no clue. So the real question was never, is ChatGPT good at the LSAT? It obviously is. What it's telling you about your shot at law school is a different question, of course. And this is not just limited to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you like to use. They all learn the same way. They're all trained on whatever makes you hit the like button. ChatGPT is just the most popular one. Now, the LSAT is not just a test. I want to be straightforward about that. It determines the rest of your legal career because your LSAT score decides which law schools say yes to you, which ones say yes, at what scholarship, decides how much debt you're taking on, and the debt against the job you can actually get after decides whether the whole thing was a good move or a mistake. Now, I'm not anti-law school, far from it. It's a real profession that has real careers, and plenty of people I've worked with are thrilled they went to law school. But there is a gap between a good outcome and a brutal one. And that gap is enormous. And the lever that moves you across it is mostly this one test. The same person putting in the same hours could get either a 165 or a 158, depending on how they study. But that 7-point gap could be the difference between a scholarship and getting a full ride, between going to a school where most graduates have a real shot at getting a great job versus where a lot of them are scrambling. All in, when you consider living costs and interest, law school runs more than 200 grand at a lot of places, and a few points on the LSAT changes what that number even is. And it matters more than it has in years. Applications are way up, the pool is tougher, and more schools than ever are posting median LSAT scores of 170 or higher. And so when ChatGPT tells you that you're ready, it's a statement about your score, and your score is your shot at law school. When it lies to you about whether you're ready, it's lying about which law schools are going to take you, how much you're going to pay, and what your life will look like on the other side. And so if the cost of fooling yourself is you take another practice test, that's fine. But when the cost is borrowing $200,000 for a school you only got into because a chatbot talked you into believing you were better than you were, that's a whole different thing. You don't get a retake on that. So getting an honest read on whether you're actually ready for the LSAT, where you actually stand, that is the most valuable thing in your prep. And that's the thing that ChatGPT is worst at giving you. Now, most people studying right now don't get how AI actually works. Official LSAT questions are copyrighted. The law school admission council, the people who own the test license, that content out to prep companies, but no general chatbot has the real question back. And copy pasting copyrighted questions into AI to get them explained is a great area itself. And so when you go to ChatGPT for LSAT help, it's doing one of two things. It's either making up LSAT style questions, fake imitations, or it's breaking down a real question that you fed it yourself. Now, imitation questions are not the test. They might look close, but the LSAT is brutally precise about how its traps get built, and a knockoff drills you on a slightly different game than the one you're actually going to sit. And the explanations are also questionable. They're only as good as the read on why you got it wrong. Now, a generic walkthrough of why choice C might be correct is worth something, but it's not what you really need. The thing you actually need is someone who can see the pattern across all of your misses and tell you the truth about it. Because here's what I keep coming back to. The reason you want a tutor is not the explanation. You can find explanations anywhere. They're available online for free. Many of them are on my YouTube channel, by the way. What you need from a tutor is the judgment. Someone who tells you that you keep doing this exact thing and you don't even see it. And that's where ChatGPT falls apart. Because it's not stupid, of course. It can score a 180. It falls apart because of what it's built to do the second you ask it about you. It lies. And everyone's worried about it hallucinating and botching the logic, and it does that sometime, but that's not the dangerous thing. The dangerous thing is when it agrees with you because it wants to please you. Let's say you miss a question on something you already feel good about, and your brain reaches for a reason that isn't, I personally have a gap here, I have a foundational misunderstanding. You'll say to yourself, I was tired, I rushed it, I knew it, really I just slipped. It's a bad question. And all of that might be true. But ChatGPT will take that excuse and agree with it every single time. In contrast, a coach does the opposite. The coach's whole job in that moment is to refuse to let you have the excuse. ChatGPT can't do that. Because remember how OpenAI pulled a version for being too agreeable? That's what it does. The model gets rewarded based on you giving it a thumbs up. And so people like to give thumbs up to answers that flatter them and make them feel good. So it learns to agree. ChatGPT is a yes man. And so when OpenAI tried to kill that overly agreeable version for good, people were so hooked on being flattered that they made OpenAI bring it back. They protested. It feels amazing because it tells you that you're doing great. That's what it's trained to do, but it has no idea whether that's true. I've seen students do this for 20 years. It's not an LSAT thing. It's a human thing. Same deal goes for those tutoring the SAT or the MCAT. They'll confirm this for you as well. People make the most excuses for the misses that scare them the most, the ones that are material they thought they nailed. And so the folks going for the 170s, they've got the real ability to feel confident, which means they've got the most room to talk themselves out of their actual weak spots. And now AI is the tool that will help them do it every single time. So here's the thing I get from the students all the time. They'll say to me, yeah, I dropped a couple of logical reasoning questions, but I'm strong in reading comp, so that won't really hurt my score, right? ChatGPT will say, makes sense, of course, you're in good shape. But there are two problems with that idea. I dropped a couple of logical reasoning questions, but I'm strong in reading comp. What's the problem with that idea? The math is backwards, first of all, because logical reasoning is 2/3 of the LSAT. Reading comp's only 1/3. And so if you're strong in reading comp, good for you, but you're only strong on 1/3 of the test. The other 2/3 are going to tank you. The other issue is that if you're strong in reading comp, are you actually strong in reading comp? Are you consistently getting perfect sections, or are you getting perfect passages sometimes and tanking others? Because that's still an inconsistency. So there's a student making a reasoning error about their performance, and AI is nodding along saying, you're totally right, you've got this, when that's not the case. And so AI cannot challenge you. It's not built to do that. It might do it sometimes, of course, but it's unreliable, it's inconsistent. It truly doesn't know what it's talking about. It's just pattern matching. It's not actually reasoning. In contrast, coaching helps you see your blind spots because you can't see them yourself. When you're studying on your own, you don't know what you don't know. But once we add some real support into the mix, there's usually a pretty quick score boost, meaning there's going to be a lot of low-hanging fruit. And so if you're looking for help from a real human, I'm happy to help you out. I'm offering free LSAT tutoring to everybody watching this now or later. You can grab that free LSAT tutoring lesson with me personally at unpluggedprep.com/start. The link is below this video on YouTube, pinned in the chat on YouTube, in my bio on TikTok and IG.